Perfect Earth Podcast, episode 187, Lamar, Shark Side of the Moon.
Week, and we could not go past Shark Week without having a shark movie. And if we've learned anything about sharks and B movies, they can just do anything.
They adapt. They're adaptable, Lamar.
Under any circumstance, Joe. Under any circumstance.
To be original, made by Asylum again. And
we're seeing a pattern here, aren't we? Yeah.
All right, well, we'll start where we always start. What did we think of the story?
Boy, oh boy. Whew. Okay, so the Cold War bred, that race between United States and Russia. And the Russians thought, hey, not only are we going to go to the moon, we're going to go to the moon with our hybrid shark monsters. And they break free and they end up hitching a ride with one of the Russian scientists to the moon. And then we flash forward to, kind of present day.
Yeah.
We have more advanced technology, and we're sending another ship to the moon to kind of do the same thing. But unbeknownst to those astronauts, not only are there sharks on the moon, they have evolved, and they are looking to come back to Earth.
They've built basically like a compound on the moon.
Yeah.
And they can go through the ground like they would go through the ocean waters, Lamar.
Oh, not just that, Joe. They can walk around in space. They can walk.
They can walk and talk.
Yeah.
And they want to get back to Earth to get revenge and take over. The band of astronauts have to team up with the old scientist and his half shark daughter.
Is she a half shark, or is she? Well, she was one of the hatchlings that didn't go full.
Yeah, she didn't go full shark.
Yeah,
and they have to band together to fight the sharks. So, what do you give it for story?
This is so wild. I give it a 1.
I'm
not even gonna lie. This was insane. We always say, if you're gonna have a premise like this, sell it, and they did it.
All right, next category. What do we think of the characters?
I'll say this: the astronauts were okay.
Yeah,
they were okay. Now we get to the sharks. We'll talk about the sharks, but Tevla, who's the leader of the sharks,
and the rest of the sharks don't really have any personality.
No,
they're just like goons, basically.
Everybody can't be the chosen one.
That's
Joe.
true.
That's what it is. Yes.
Well, I was mostly super happy that at least one of the sharks started talking. That kind of made me laugh.
They used their CGI budget mostly there, Joe. We'll say it. We'll say that. Yes.
But yeah, I didn't think that the astronauts. I didn't think that they were that interesting. Honestly,
they could have did more.
Because they set it up like one of the characters was going to be like kind of interesting. Like he was going to be like the guy that doesn't follow the rules and nobody wants. And then that just kind of went out the window. Like the old man scientist that has been up in space for a while. Like he was okay, I guess. He's kind of kooky.
Yeah.
I'll give it a half point for character.
I'm giving it 1.
1?
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Because the sharks sold it. They're so menacing. What's the next category, Joe?
That does bring us to our next category, which of course is use of sharks.
These sharks can go under, moon rock. There's different sharks. Thank you.
Yeah, we do have some hammerheads and some great whites. That was a cool touch that they did, like do some different kinds of sharks and stuff.
For some reason, they all wear pants or like dress like Mad Max.
Yeah.
I don't know why. They're somewhat of a sophisticated technological, group, but they dress like, they're
well, they only
Thunderdome.
had whatever resources they had up there on the moon when they went up there. So
true.
That's the reason why it's kind of post-apocalyptic for them. Well, I gotta give it 1 point. They did use the sharks.
I agree.
Can't complain.
Yes, very true.
Well, the next category, Lamar. CGI.
Okay.
Special effects.
This is an Asylum picture. Do we say they did their best, or is it more so they just put something together?
Asylum film, they're right down the line between we did the best with what we have and being almost kind of lazy.
But I did enjoy certain parts. Okay. Yeah. They ride around on a freaking rover.
Yeah.
The CGI sharks, yes, they They used, the assets over and over, but they were at least interesting.
I think the least interesting part about the CGI was the terrain on the moon.
I kind of liked it. I thought
You
it was
did?
charming. Yes.
When
Kind of
they were
added a
running on the
goofy.
moon and they were just bouncing real slow, but it looked.
That's what they had to do, Joe. Yes.
And there
Yes.
was like zero Z depth to anything that they did. Like it was just everything was just kind of on top.
They might have forgot to put stars in the sky as well, but
See, CGI wise, I like the sharks. I don't like the moon. The stuff on the moon looked like horse shit.
I thought it was goofy.
Well, what do you give
Goofy
it?
art. I'm giving it a 1.
Giving it a 1. I'm gonna give it another half. Almost
We got-
there though. I
We
did
got
like
Stanley Kubrick over here. Blah, blah, blah. Jesus.
Well, Lamar, we know Asylum likes to make franchises. Our next category is what did we think about sequel potential?
Let's say they saved the day, but the way they saved the day and saved themselves, I was just like, all right, well, F it. We're just doing whatever we want. It's almost like, can we spoil it or should we not spoil it?
Yeah, this has been out, I think, long enough. We'll just say spoiler alert.
Apparently, these what did they say? The sharks were what? They're asexual something.
Yeah.
Where they can just go ahead and reproduce whenever they want. And the weak kind of human girl that's kind of a shark, she has babies. And so the sharks arrive on Earth.
I can't wait to see a sequel, Lamar.
See, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I think Asylum might be onto something.
I almost will say I'm more interested in this than I ever was in Sharknado sequels. I think there's way more that you can do with this.
That is a good point.
You can, like 3 films down the road, you can make it so that the sharks won the war and you have like a Planet of the Apes type of movie.
Maybe they do something where they like take out like all of the land masses or something like that. So it's like Waterworld, and so they can rule that way and stuff like that. Or, melt the glaciers, whatever. I don't know. I'm not trying to take over the world.
And the only way you can stop them is to go back in time, Lamar. And we can have a time travel movie.
Joe, the way this movie ended, I wouldn't even be mad at that. I'm not even going to be mad. Boy, I tell you, wow.
Well, I guess it goes without saying then that this is getting a 1 point for sequel.
1, yes.
Well, Lamar, we tally the score, and Shark Side of the Moon gets a really good 4.5 out of 5.
Is this the highest we've rated an Asylum film, or one of the highest?
An Asylum's film for sure, yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
They stayed the course with their goofy concept.
Yeah.
They made it interesting.
Yeah.
So you got to give them props for that. It's just a fun, goofy B movie. They didn't take it too seriously, which we see with some of these other movies. We're just like, ugh.
Yeah, definitely worth the watch on this one. Does that wrap it up then, sir?
Yes, it does.
Shark Side of the Moon. Peace.
Deuces.